What? He thought it was a quorum call. I'm going to wait.
Okay,
Do
got it.
call.
All right. Senator Hill. Yes. You want to ready to take up SB 119?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. In California, multiple times a day, someone digging in the ground hits a natural gas pipeline. In my district, when we talk about pipelines, people think about the 2010 explosion in San Bruno that killed 8, seriously injured another 10, and destroyed 38 homes. We know that tragedy was caused by a faulty weld. What most people don't realize is that in testing its pipelines 2 years later, PG&E found that the next place the pipeline would fail was 15 miles down the road in the town of Woodside. At some point in the past, someone had struck this line with a backhoe, leaving a dent and causing the pipe to fail in a water pressure test. We'd had other near misses in the past year. Last October, someone operating heavy equipment in an agricultural field southwest of Bakersfield struck and ruptured a 30-inch diameter transmission pipe. In February, a tractor outfitted with a ripper clawed open a 10-inch diameter high-pressure pipe. In both cases, the operators were lucky. The gas did not ignite. When one of these pipes ruptures, the sound is like a jet engine and can sometimes be heard for miles. It isn't just the high-pressure lines that can be dangerous. Recent explosions across the country demonstrate that leaking gas from a damaged pipe can travel underground, collect in a basement, and ignite from the pilot light of a furnace or a water heater. Natural gas isn't the only danger underground. In December, 2 contractors were seriously burned in Irvine when one dug into a high-voltage electric line using a jackhammer. And we should not forget what happened in Walnut Creek in late 2004. 5 workers installing a water main for the East Bay Municipal Utility District were killed when a pipeline carrying jet fuel ignited after it was struck with a backhoe. To prevent these accidents from happening, California and other states developed a system of regional notification called one-call centers. Excavators contact one call center 2 days before starting work. The one-call center notifies the utilities in the area. The utilities go out and mark the ground above their infrastructure so that the excavator can avoid damaging it. The system works when people use it correctly. Too often, however, it is not used. Sempra has noted that roughly half of damages to its pipes have happened when the excavator has failed to call. Contract excavators find that operators do not always mark facilities within the 2 days they are allotted. Excavators have also expressed concerns that too often facilities are not marked correctly, causing a worksite safety hazard. In June of 2013, my subcommittee under the Senate Energy Committee held a hearing asking the question of whether we are safer now than we were 3 decades ago. I still don't have an answer to that question. I do know that in 1989, the legislature passed AB 73 to increase enforcement of the law by increasing penalties and allowing the Attorney General, a district attorney, or the permit issuing agency to pocket the fines from any violation. This change has done nothing. In supporting AB 73, Southern California Gas Company had argued that their infrastructure had been hit 1,000 times in 1988. In supporting this bill, Southern California Gas and San Diego Gas and Electric cite 3,173 damages in 2013. Even given population increases and the SDG&E merger, this is a degradation of our safety since 1988. As there is very little state enforcement, the law is enforced through liability claims for damages. The contract excavators maintain, however, that utilities use their legal muscle to force settlements. Adjudication of what is and what is not safe generally happens. Last March, I held a meeting with 55 representatives of utilities of all types, contract excavators, and state and local agencies. I told them that I would not be the one to figure out how to improve excavation safety. They would have to solve the problem. In December, I solicited legislative proposals for reform. I received proposals from gas utilities, contract excavators, and the California damage prevention nonprofit, the California Regional Common Ground Alliance. Their proposals constitute the bill that's before you today. Since December, my office has hosted 7 large stakeholder meetings to parse out the issues in addition to the innumerable smaller ones. We have had presentations from excavation safety organizations from 4 other states. As you will see from the comments that will follow, there is much interest in finding a solution. Many conversations still lie ahead of us before we finally do so. So thank you for letting me go on a little bit here, and I'd like to hear from the stakeholders because this is kind of an evolving discussion and we're almost there, I think.
All right, very good. Thank you for being here. Who would be first? Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Israel Salas here on behalf of Southern California Gas Company and San Diego Gas and Electric. As the author noted, we really do appreciate all the time and effort that has gone into this issue. We've participated in all of the stakeholder meetings since December. As you noted, 50% of the dig-ins that occur within our service territory are attributed to no calls. So 50% in our opinion could have been prevented, but for our inability to go out and mark our lines. We would ask the committee to continue to move the bill forward today. We want to continue working with the stakeholders, the author and his staff, to develop a solution that will promote safety. Safety is our #1 priority, not only for our employees, the public, but also those excavators that dig around our underground infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kent Kaus with Pacific Gas and Electric. I won't repeat the comments made by Sempra Energy. We agree with those. We had about 1,900 hits last year, and the majority of which were also caused by folks who did not call. Wow. We believe that we should increase the enforcement capabilities, but we also recognize that we have to improve our own process, whether it's marking on time or marking accurately. There's provisions in the bill that we'll continue to work on with that. We also continue discussions with the agricultural community and the landscapers to address some of the concerns that they have. And we hope to be able to resolve those in the very near future. And we're asked for your support.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members, Pete Conity representing the Underground Service Alert of Southern California. Those are the people you call, the excavators call, and then they notify the utilities for the lines. When this thing started last November, I did not have a high degree of confidence that we would be able to pull this off, but we are doing it thanks to Senator Hill's leadership. It's a very large coalition of people, 50 to 60 different groups. And the other thing I want to note is that we are working on amending the bill to remove agriculture's opposition to the bill, and we will. That's one of our highest priorities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, Todd Blumstein representing the Southern California Contractors Association. We technically have a support if amended position, but we do support moving the bill forward. Quite frankly, because of this bill, there have been quite a few very good conversations on the issue, and to that we commend the Senator for his efforts over the last year and a half. Our members are relatively sophisticated contractors. They're the ones calling. During the height of the industry in 06, 05, there were literally staff members within the companies devoted to simply calling and making sure the dig alert tickets were accurate. Our issue comes down to accurate marks. The process works currently, for the most part. The problem is when members call, the problem is sometimes those marks are inaccurate. And because of those inaccurate marks, our contractors occasionally strike underground infrastructure, and then they're ultimately held responsible and liable for striking or for the damages, even though they did everything they were supposed to do under the law. So that's an issue that we continue to discuss with the Senator as well as other proponents and parties. But we do ask that you continue the bill moving. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Please come forward. Oh, yes.
Cyrus Devers with Verizon. We support the bill in concept. We still have some concerns on some of the language, but we support the bill moving forward and look forward to working with the author as he continues the process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Bill Devine representing AT&T. We too support moving the bill forward and have been actively engaged in the process. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Come forward. Witnesses in opposition?
Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Karen Mills. I represent the California Farm Bureau Federation, and as others have noted, we are on file as an opposed unless amended position. We submitted a letter outlining our concerns on the bill, and we submitted it to be clear and seek an acknowledgement to be made for the unique nature of the agricultural activities in this context. Certainly, we are mindful of the safety and reliability concerns that are outlined and believe that they can be addressed and still account for the practical realities of agricultural activities. As we discuss this, we're very appreciative of the time and attention that the Senator's office has provided. With respect to our concerns, we were a little bit late into the process, having joined in January when we became aware of how the discussions would impact our members' activities. And so we're continuing to work with Senator Hill's office and others about finding a workable solution for the appropriate treatment of the ag sector. And we're hopeful that we're getting closer. We're not quite there yet because obviously the right language takes some time and thought. But as it moves forward, we're looking for some recognition and appropriate treatment. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Next.
I'm Gail with Western Growers Association, and I echo the concerns of Karen here with the Farm Bureau. We have unique issues over on the Central Coast in farming because we do row crops. And because of the irrigated lands programs, we are required to essentially hardly move the soil, especially not going very deep. So when we harvest a lettuce field, we go back through and we barely turn the soil over so that we can capture all that nitrate that's in the plants left there and use that instead of adding more nitrates. So those type of practices we are looking for recognition on, that growers over on the Central Coast have several different languages and plots from 10 acres to 500 acres, and having to call every single time they are ready to just turn over the soil would be very problematic for those folks over there, and the penalties and everything. We understand the safety measures, but we hope that we can get to a place where we can get some language. We oppose this bill until we get that language.
Very good. Thank you. And noted. Next.
Monica Darwish, representing California.
What's your name?
Monica Darwish, representing California Landscape Contractors Association. We too are opposed unless amended. CLCA membership spans 2,000 licensed contractors with a wide range of projects, from large construction to small maintenance. And we appreciate the bill's intent and the author and his staff's extensive and comprehensive stakeholder process, but we believe the bill is overly broad in its current application. CLCA fully supports and understands the need to call a regional notification center on large construction projects. However, as the bill is currently drafted, it would require a call for something as small as mowing the lawn or changing a flower bed. We believe such a requirement is unnecessary and would just inundate call lines with activities that don't pose a threat to public safety. So we look forward to continuing our work with the author and his staff and hope that you take our concerns into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. And let the record reflect that Ricardo Lara is present at 10:05. Thank you for joining us, Ricardo. Oh, okay. Thank you. So, Senator Hill, there is obviously significant concern regarding the ag community, and it's my understanding that there are and will be amendments as we move forward. It's the desire of the chair of the committee here to make sure that those issues are mitigated. We will obviously be watching the bill to make sure that those concerns are addressed. We do not want to make sure that we create any other additional problems for the ag community, as they are already suffering a lot as we speak. So we'll be monitoring it. We will keep in mind that the bill can always be called back to committee should those things not be mitigated. Can you please address?
Respond. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And the two issues, there's two areas left to work out concerns: agriculture as well as the landscape contractors. In agriculture, I mean, they make some very valid points, and I think we're there actually with them. It's getting everyone has a different need and different perspective, and I think that problem is resolved. And so you'll see that, and it's crucial that it be resolved, because they can't every time they till the soil, they can't have to get a call to find out if there's something there, because we know where the pipes are and the transmission lines are, and they could be identified and separated out from that. The landscape contractors issue, I mean, we're getting to the point we're deciding what is considered a hand tool and what is considered, how deep is a post hole digger considered a hand tool, and is that a hazard? And so we're getting into the fine tuning of this, and the solution is there. And you certainly have my word, because this has been a long process, and I want to see it work for everyone. So we will have a solution. So thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a great bill. It also allows for us to be a little more safe, if you will, on the job for all of us. And so again, thank you for the bill. I am going to be looking forward to those amendments and making sure we follow that. Senator Wayso.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to thank the author for bringing forward this important issue. Nobody has experienced the challenges with siting utilities underground and the concerns about public safety more than you yourself and your own community. So I want to applaud you for moving forward on this important reform. When I look at this bill, it obviously has an impact on the delivery of energy from at every level, right? We can talk about oil. Oil is underground, and the delivery of oil is underground across our state. Utilities, energy, gas, and when you make reference to the PUC, this bill obviously has implications to energy, and there's obviously some responsibility for my community to be involved in this process. But when I saw that your bill was triple referred, your bill does have a very wide policy implications. So what I wanted to just offer was that if we could, without necessarily calling this bill to my committee, that we could, I'm here, I'm reviewing kind of this bill, I'm looking at the law. My staff is involved in reviewing it as well. But if we can, as this bill moves forward, the legislative process, if we can work with your office.
Absolutely.
To make sure that we're comfortable that this bill has its, all the proper reviews and oversight, and that people get an opportunity to weigh in at every level in this bill.
I would do nothing less, because it's vitally important, because your committee is crucial to this as well, as yours, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Senator Berryhill.
Yeah, I know you've worked your rear end off trying to get it this far, Senator, and I commend you for that. I voted for this in BNP because you are working with all the stakeholders, and I commend you on that. Having said that, my farming community is very concerned, that there needs to be a few amendments taken. I like what I'm hearing, that there's a commitment to work and getting through all this stuff.
It's even more than a commitment. I think we're there on the NAG.
All right. Well, if that's the case, I'll be more than happy to support this again today. And I do appreciate, Mr. Chairman, you willing to bring this thing back if it doesn't meet the test. So with that, I'll be moving the bill when we get a chance.
Very good, thank you. Vidak, you have anything? Okay, all right. We're good in terms of the understanding that we have in the committee. We will be watching the bill moving forward. The chair reserves the right to call the bill back to committee should the amendments not be taken, and the opposing sides are not satisfied in terms of those discussions. With that, I believe Mr. Berryhill is moving the bill.
Just quick,
yes.
what committee is it going in next?
I think it's Judish.
Oh,
Judiciary.
Right. Okay, great. Well, best of luck with it there.
All right, Mr. Berryhill, I will take that as your close, correct?
You did.
All right, please
you.
call the roll.
Motion is due pass and re-refer to the Judiciary Committee. Hall?
Aye.
Hall, aye. Berryhill? Berryhill, aye. Block? Gaines? Galgiani? Hernandez? Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Wayso? Wayso, aye. Lara? Laura, aye. McGuire? Vidak? Vidak, no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, it's 5-1. We'll keep that open. Senator Nielsen, is he here? No? McGuire's not here. Senator Vidak, would you like to? No? On item 8, SB 692.